Hello and welcome to TK24 Sports. Coming up on today's show, we're going to talk about a significant date in the Premier League. And that was, of course, the 15th of August, 1992. I remember it so well. I was 12 years old, almost turning 13. So trying to do the maths on how old I am on this segment. But also a year later, the MLS was born, which was in 1993. But we're not going to be talking about that. What I'm going to talk about today is the teams that have graced the Premier League since 1992. And I've been watching football for years. I'm talking about years and years and years and years. I love football. I love sports all in general, but football is my first love. But it blew my mind just how many teams have graced the Premier League since 1992 and who has still been in there, who's never been relegated, and the teams that have fallen into the abyss since dropping out of the Premier League. And some teams have been a yo-yo club, so if you're watching this channel and you're one of these teams I'm about to mention, you're like, bloody hell, God, I remember those days. And I try and tell my son, my daughter, or my partner just how great it was on those away days and, playing in the Premier League, the big stadiums. But here we go. But also one thing to remember, not many teams have actually touched the Premier League. A few teams have come close. A few teams have had players who slipped up, almost getting the Premier League. No dig, if you know what I'm talking about. But here we go. Arsenal, Villa, Barnsley, Birmingham, Blackburn, Blackpool, Bolton, Bournemouth, Bradford, Brighton, Burnley, Cardiff, Charlton, remember them? Chelsea, Coventry, Palace, Derby County, Everton, Fulham, Huddersfield, Hull, Ipswich, Leeds, Leicester, Liverpool, still trying to get it, Manchester City, Man United, Middlesbrough, Newcastle, Norwich, Forest, Oldham, Portsmouth, QPR, Reading, Sheffield United, Sheffield Wednesday, Southampton, Stoke, Sunderland, Swansea, Swindon, Tottenham, Watford, West Brom, West Ham, Wigan, Wimbledon, and Wolves. Now, out of all those teams I've mentioned, it's only a handful, I'm going to say this now, just watch the fingers, of how many teams have actually won the Premier League. That's only Arsenal, Blackburn, Leicester, Manchester United, Chelsea, and Manchester City. 6 teams. Of all those teams I've mentioned, only 6 have managed to grab and grace the Premier League. Liverpool hasn't done it. Spurs hasn't done it. Everton, Leeds. Think of all those big teams I'm mentioning. Newcastle's been there forever and a day. Well, it's been a bit of a yo-yo club. But all those other teams have never graced the Premier League. Those fans have never watched their team lift the Premier League. Liverpool have never won the Premier League. Now, don't get me wrong, this is not me throwing shade at Liverpool. Yes, you're an 18-time winner of the league title, but not the Premier League. Arsenal won it 3 times. Chelsea's won it 5. Blackburn's won it once. Leicester's won it once. Manchester City's won it, let's try to say 1, 2, 3, 4 times. And United's won it 13 times. It's a hard league to win. But also, when you're in the Premier League, your objective is to stay in the Premier League. Because once you drop out, it's really hard to get back. Think of the teams that are now in the abyss. Barnsley, Birmingham, Blackburn, Blackpool, Bolton, Bradford, Charlton, Cardiff are not too bad, Coventry, Derby's not too bad, Huddersfield not too bad, Hull's not too bad, Ipswich. Leeds are trying to fight to get back in. Middlesbrough's trying to fight to get back in. Oldham, Portsmouth, QPR, Reading, Sheffield Wednesday, may come back one day. Swindon, Sunderland, Stoke, West Brom, Wigan, Wimbledon, no longer there, of course, MK Dons. These teams have graced the Premier League at once upon a time, or some of them were there for a long time. And I remember Charlton being there for ages. And then, the supporters, they had enough of Alan Kirbishley. They thought he's taken them as far as he possibly could. They wanted a new direction. Yeah, they got that direction. One direction, down. And yet they haven't come back since. And haven't even come close to coming back. Leeds may come back this year. I think they're going to come back this year. Fulham, once upon a time, were a decent team. Bolton, under, Big Sam, were pretty decent. I remember when Blackpool came in, they were a breath of fresh air. They tried to play some great football, and they pretty much did. Remember Swansea, Swanzalona, people used to call them, because they had some good playing time there. Oldham, they were alright, nothing special. Portsmouth, going to Fratton Park, dreadful place to go to try and play football. Down the coast, small team, in a sense of a small stadium, that fans will constantly on you. Good times there. QPR, Reading, Sheffield Wednesday. Remember those days of the Sheffield United, Sheffield Wednesday, the Steel Derby? You know, I guess some of these teams would like to have that again. But the Premier League is a hard league to get in. It's pretty much like a members-only club. You know, you get in, you get a membership one day, then that membership gets revoked and you're not allowed back in. But also winning the Premier League, that's a challenge. And that's something that Liverpool is going to have to try and do. And older Liverpool fans will, you know, this must be a frustration for you for 30-odd years. The new Liverpool fans thinking, you know, what the hell, why can't we win this league? But look at the history of it. Think of the teams. There's only 6 teams that has graced and won the Premier League. And Liverpool are not one of them. You know, think of the big 5 clubs in this country. I'm not going to mention City. I'm not going to mention Chelsea. Well, actually, I might put Chelsea in this bracket because it goes United, Liverpool, Arsenal. Then you got Villa. Villa and Everton. Those are the big 5 teams in this Premier League as it stands now. And this is the truth. That's the history. Look it up. But anyway, thank you for today for watching TK24 Sports. Have a great day.